What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of the Narcissists Code. I'm your favorite self-aware narcissist, Mr. Lee Hammock, better known as Mental Healness across all social media platforms. This is your first time seeing my face or hearing my voice. I'm a clinically diagnosed narcissist. I use my platform on social media to raise awareness for NPD, get more people into therapy, and also validate the victims, survivors, and the thrivers of said disorder, said toxic people, said toxic traits. Today's episode, y'all, is going to be about why do narcissists always seem to make things worse? Why did everything gets worse before it gets better? Before we hop into today's episode, y'all, I gotta shout out the Self-Love brand. This is the I'm Resilient shirt. I love me. It's the logo. I'm Resilient. The link is in the description of every single video and podcast that I do. Thank y'all so much for the support. Okay, y'all. Here we go. Why do narcissists always seem to make things worse? Compounding things, compounding issues, always making issues worse before they get better. Like nothing ever gets resolved. I've spoken about this before, y'all, but so many narcissists, like shame is a great provocation for narcissists. Like shame it provokes narcissistic people to do a lot of horrible stuff. And the craziest thing about it is, instead of just dealing with the shame, holding ourselves accountable and knocking it out and handling things right here in the moment, a lot of narcissists will instead compound what they have done and do more things to avoid the shame. They do worse things to avoid the shame. Like if I go out here and steal some money, instead of just like, if I steal some money on my wife's purse, instead of just like admitting to it, I just, I yell and scream at her, and I yell at her and start a huge argument now. You see what I'm saying? I just compounded it instead of just like, damn, my fault. I'm sorry, I did that. But it's still bad, y'all. This is not, I'm not stealing money on my wife's purse or anything like that. My wife's, we stay at home mom, so we're not doing that. But this is just an example. I know people are just like, Lee, you stealing money? You just admitted it. No, y'all. It's just wild. We have shared accounts. So I'm still paying on her purse. This silliness. But yeah, let's just say this is just an example. Like I steal something from her. Instead of just like, damn, I did steal this. She catches me. Instead of saying I did steal this, I'm so ashamed that I start yelling and screaming at her and making her feel guilty. I used Darvo on her, which is yesterday's video, and whatnot. So I just added to my mistake. So now not only have I got caught stealing money, now I have the shame of yelling and screaming and arguing over something I know I did. Now I know I did it, but now I've been arguing, yelling and screaming about it. So what can I do about it now? You see what I'm saying? A lot of narcissistic people do this right here, y'all. We compound it. Instead of dealing with it, we compound it. Instead of knocking it out, we compound it. Instead of fighting through it, we compound it. You know what I mean? It happens so much in toxic relationship spaces, y'all. It's just like, it is crazy as hell how it works out like this. We compound the shame. We do worse things. We always make things worse before they get better. And sometimes they don't get better. Sometimes they don't get better. The narcissistic person, like our egos are so big and we are so afraid of shame that we just won't apologize. And so now, you see what just happened right there. This is how things get worse right here. You see that in the example that I gave, I stole all my wife's purse, right? She found out. She found out. She confronted me about it. I yelled and screamed and denied at her, said horrible, evil things to her. I said things to her that probably could not be taken back, right? Evil, horrible things that you can never forget that was said. And now I don't apologize. So you see, I just compounded shame. Now just added, now things are getting worse now because I'm not talking about it anymore. So those three things that happened and they're just adding to it because I haven't apologized. It's just getting worse. Narcissistic people always seem to make things worse because I want to avoid shame. I want you to take accountability for it. I stole money from you because you should have just gave it to me. How did you know I didn't need? You should have known that I needed some money. If you really love me, you'd have just gave it to me. It wouldn't make me steal it from you. You know what I'm saying? But that's just a vague issue, y'all. It's another issue. They'll cheat on you, blame you, hit you, and then leave you for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? They just compound things. Well, I hit you now. Get locked up. You know what I'm saying? Alex Murdaugh compounded his shame of he was still Alex Murdaugh. Y'all look up Alex Murdaugh from South Carolina, the lawyer that unalived his wife and son. He's in jail now for unaliving his wife and son. But you see what he did, y'all. He had a drug issue. Instead of going to actually get help and working on himself from what I saw online, he started stealing money to support his drug issue. You see what I'm saying? So now he got the shame of the drug issue. Now he's compounded that, made things worse because now he's stealing money from clients and his business partners and his family and things like that. But he got caught stealing money. So instead of just dealing with that, guess what he did? He unalived his wife and son to try to divert attention from that. And now he's in jail for the rest of his life. You see, now he's getting sued out of his brains. The money is gone. The drug addiction, but you see how he just made things worse. Chris Watts made things worse. He kept progressively making things worse. The narcissistic person that you're dealing with is going to progressively make things worse. It happens all the time, just adding things to it. I'm making things worse right now because I'm not handling the situation I should be handling. I'm not dealing with the stuff that I should be dealing with because I'm afraid to deal with the shame because my ego is so damn inflated and so big. I'm afraid to deal with it right now. It happens so much, y'all. It's one of those scenarios in these situations that happens so much. Narcissistic people have to understand that you're only going to make things worse on yourself, make things harder on yourself when you keep doing things like this over and over and over again. You know what I mean? You keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. Instead of just knocking it out and handling it right now when it's small and it can be handled, you make things worse to the point where it no longer can be handled. You see what I'm saying? Narcissistic person argues with you, forget something, argues with you. Now they give you the silent treatment. You see what I'm saying? Now, and they don't want to talk to you anymore because now it's too late now in the mind of a narcissist. Sometimes when they've compounded the shame so much, like now it's too late to go back. They feel like, well, it's too late for me to go back now. I haven't talked to you in 2 weeks. Now I'm embarrassed. Now I'm definitely not gonna talk to you now because now I'm super ashamed of myself. So I'm definitely not gonna talk to you right now. Nope, I'm not talking to you at all. You know? They keep not wanting to talk to you at all. And then guess what? They keep compounding the shame till it gets worse. And now, boom, gotcha. You see what I'm saying? It just adds up. It just adds up. That's why so many times when you're dealing with a narcissistic person, you have to be the one who goes and talks to them to break the silent treatment. You have to be the one that goes and apologizes to them for making them yell and scream and hit you. You have to be the one to do something to restart the relationship or to get them out of this shame funk, this shame spiral. That's what they're doing. The shame is just making them spiral around like little toxic ass tornadoes. They just spiral. They're just spinning. You know what I'm saying? Just spinning around, destroying their own lives because they can't control it and they don't want to actually deal with the shame and things like that, y'all. It is a horrible experience having the mindset of a narcissistic, toxic person. It's just one of those things, y'all. It just is. Like, I've compounded so much. I say right now, I feel like the difference between me and a lot of narcissistic people, I'm not saying I'm better than other narcissists, y'all, but I feel like the biggest difference in my mindset, in the way a lot of narcissist minds work, is that I've stopped compounding the shame as much. You know what I mean? I've stopped compounding it as much. I was just like, I stop it right now. Like if I do something bad, I apologize or I handle it right then and there in the moment, as opposed to doing worse things to cover it up, to deal with it. You know what I mean? Worse things, making things worse. Narcissistic people always make things worse because they avoiding shame, they're avoiding accountability, they're avoiding what we think is going to be rejection. Trying to avoid, another thing we're trying to avoid is to not feel like a bad person. You know what I mean? That's what they're trying not to feel like. Believe they are bad people. Yeah, I'm just telling you, the mindset of a narcissist, we don't want to feel like bad people. We might be doing some bad stuff, but we don't want to feel like bad people. So we try to avoid dealing with the accountability that would make us feel like a bad person. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? You know, we try to avoid the accountability or the mindset or the actions that will make us feel like a bad person overall. And it happens so much, y'all. It's just one of those things that happen. You know, it just keeps happening. It just keeps happening over and over and over again until it just breaks through. You got to break free of it. You know, but Lee, how can we make them do that? You can rarely, if ever, make a narcissist do something, but you have to have some type of leverage. The only way you can make a narcissist move on something that they want to do in their lives is to have some type of leverage on them. You have to. If you don't have no leverage, no movement. No leverage, no action. No leverage, none of this. You know what I mean? You have to have some type of leverage to make them move. You just have to. If you don't have leverage, if you don't have any type of leverage or anything to make them move, they're not going to move. That's why a lot of times you have to be the one that goes and talk to them. The only leverage you have is your person, your body, your being, your availability, the access to you. You see what I'm saying? Access to you is the only leverage that you have sometimes when you're dealing with a narcissistic person. And a lot of times, y'all, being realistic, that's just not enough. You know? I'm not saying that you're a worthless person. I'm not saying it at all. But to a narcissistic person, it's me first. I want to avoid the shame. So me first. Me. Me. Like the road runner, y'all. But anyways, y'all, if y'all don't know when you're watching this video, it is 7/15, July 15th. Luke Combs tonight in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is 2023, y'all, so I don't know when you're watching this. Anyways, y'all, thank y'all so much. Like and subscribe for more. Like I said, make sure you check out this Self-Love Shop. Thank y'all so much, y'all. Mental Healness is out. Peace. Thank you so much for making it to the end of my video, y'all. Thank you for watching all the way through. I'm eternally grateful for you. If you haven't already, you made it this far, you might as well go and hit this subscription button, y'all. Turn on the notifications so we can reach more people. Help me reach more people and whatnot. The Self-Love brand is available as well. Link is in the description of every single video I do, y'all. I'm aware this is the I Love Me brand. The Self-Love Journal is also available too, y'all. I have a weekly newsletter that goes out as well. If you haven't, check in to join the channel memberships for some behind the scenes access and more perks and things like that, y'all. Thank you so much. Mental Healness is out. Peace.